Careful, sweetheart. That thing's older than your makeup. The shooting range crowd chuckled as the young woman stepped to her lane with a weathered M1 Garand slung across her shoulder. She didn't react, just moved with calm precision, unbothered by the noise, unshaken by the sneers. The rifle was old, yes, but it carried stories, and she carried it like she knew everyone. 10 minutes later, a visiting four-star general happened to walk past. He stopped mid-stride. His eyes locked on her stance, unorthodox by modern standards, not something in any manual. Yet to him it was unmistakable. That posture wasn't taught. It was inherited, passed down through battles, refined under fire, and it belonged to someone he'd known. If you believe precision carries legacy, type respect in the comments. Tessa Morgan, 29, arrived at Hollow Creek Range in worn jeans boots and a faded 82nd Airborne ball cap. The kind that wasn't sold in gift shops. The kind soaked in years and significance. It had belonged to her grandfather, just like the rifle, and neither were mere keepsakes. They were continuations. She didn't film for social media or boast about her setup. She waited quietly for her lane assignment. Unwrapping her Garand from an oiled cloth that smelled of cedar and old wood, she laid it on the bench with reverence. The wood was scarred, initials faded. A JMJ. A carved parachute on the butt plate, delicate but firm, like the hands that had etched it. "Does that even work?" someone muttered nearby. A guy in spotless tactical camo leaned against the barrier, snickering at his friends. His rifle shimmered under bright lights, decked in attachments. More rail than barrel, he smirked. "Careful, sweetheart. That thing's older than your makeup." The line chuckled. Another man in a neon vest offered a mocking, "Need help loading that antique?" Tessa didn't respond, didn't look their way. She focused on her grip, adjusted her stance, back heel angled just so, and began with a dry trigger pull. Her grandfather's words echoed. "Feel the ghost of the shot before you make it real." The range was crowded. Weekend shooters, veterans, hobbyists, and tourists who came more for the craft beer tap room than the shooting. Tessa came twice a month, every month. Same lane if she could, same rifle, same ritual, 6 slow rounds, then 2 rapid. The Garand's natural cadence. No earbuds, no distractions. She needed to hear the rifle breathe. The mocker in camo kept going. Probably found it in Granddad's attic and thought it'd look cute for Instagram. More laughs. One of them mimed a limp-wristed shooter. Tessa placed 8 rounds before her in a line, fingertips tracing brass casings like a pianist preparing for symphony. Not nervous, methodical. Respect demands rhythm. She thumbed in the clip with ease. A click. Satisfying and solid. This rifle was no decoration. It was a responsibility. Her grandfather had said as much. "This isn't a gift, it's a continuation." The bolt slammed home with that iconic ping. A sound from another era, and that was when the general, Marcus Fielding, paused. He'd been watching from the side, unnoticed. Coffee cup frozen midair, breath caught. That stance, that positioning, he'd seen it before. Tunisia, 1991. A rooftop. One paratrooper, elbow locked, cheek to stock, back foot turned just so. It wasn't doctrine. It was legacy. He stepped closer. Tessa fired. The Garand cracked through the air like thunder, remembering its own voice. The paper target danced, center mass. She reloaded, without looking. 8 more. All center, no flourish, just relentless, quiet precision. The general exhaled slowly. Camo guy scoffed again, but softer this time. Beginner's luck. Probably Googled how to hold it. Tessa spoke, calm and clear. "Didn't need to. My grandfather didn't teach through screens." The empty clip ejected. Ping. It echoed louder than it should have. Then the general approached. Everyone gave way. His presence cleared space. "Name?" he asked. "Morgan, Tessa." "Your grandfather?" "James Morgan." Sergeant, 82nd Airborne, 1984 to 93. The general nodded slowly. That rooftop, Tunisia. Recoil broke his collar. He fired anyway. 14 targets, 12 confirmed. Tessa blinked. He never told me the details. That's how you know they're true, Fielding said. The ones who saw it rarely speak. Camo guy stepped forward. Ma'am, I didn't know. Fielding turned. That's the point. You never know who stands beside you, what they carry. He faced Tessa again. May I? She nodded, handing him the rifle. The general held it like returning to a chapter of his life. Fingers brushed over etched initials, over the parachute, over sweat stains turned permanent. Then, without warning, he saluted. Not a casual nod. A crisp, formal salute. For the weapon, and for her. He said, Your grandfather saved my unit. Fire like that doesn't come from manuals. It comes from something deeper. He returned the rifle reverently. That weapon didn't just win a war. It remembers the hands that held it. Tessa blinked back moisture. He said he just did what needed doing. Exactly, said Fielding. Legacy isn't loud. The story spread fast, but not from her. She had no social media. A range employee captured the moment, the salute, the reverence. The caption read, She didn't inherit rank. She inherited precision. Veteran forums caught it first, then military blogs, then the world. An old grainy video surfaced, VHS converted to digital, Tunisia, a rooftop, the same stance, the same rifle, her grandfather. Side by side, the footage told a truth words couldn't. 30 years apart, same blood, same steel. Hollow Creek Range posted a simple statement. We honor all who serve, through uniform or memory. When asked why he saluted a civilian, the general said, I wasn't saluting a civilian. I was saluting a continuation. Tessa was invited to speak at Fort Bragg. Not about gender, about memory. She brought the Garand. I don't carry it to look tough. I carry it because I was trusted with it. She demonstrated how to hold it, how to respect it. My grandfather didn't talk about heroism. He talked about duty, promises kept, standing where you're placed and doing what's required. The mocking range regular, Tyler Reese, sent a handwritten letter. I was wrong. That rifle spoke, and I didn't listen. My grandfather served in Korea. I never asked him. Until now. Tessa didn't reply with words. She invited him to train. He came. He learned. Not just shooting, marksmanship, not just ownership, honor. The range started a program. Veterans training their kids and grandkids. Tessa led Sunday sessions for veterans' daughters. First lesson? Respect the tool and the shoulders it passed through. The range manager, a retired Marine, asked her to teach formally. I'm not qualified, she said. He pointed to her grouping. Tight, centered. Your grandfather qualified you. Some certifications aren't printed. They're proven. She taught her first class. Generational marksmanship carrying forward. It filled instantly, not with trend chasers, but seekers of connection. If you believe the greatest way to honor the past is to carry it forward, type continuation in the comments. A year later, Hollow Creek added a new lane, Morgan Line, reserved for legacy marksmen. A brass carving of the M1 bolt adorned its post. Beneath, built for war, held for memory. It wasn't celebration, it was recognition. Fielding retired that year. His final speech paused midway. I once saw a girl fire with her grandfather's ghost behind her. Everyone else learned to shut up and listen. That's when I understood what we're really preserving. Tessa still visits, still fires from lane 4, still silent until her last shot. Now others watch, slower, straight. Tyler Reese enlisted, not out of guilt, inspiration. I wanted to earn my own stance, he wrote. The M1 rests in a walnut case she built, glass-topped. Not a museum piece, a chapter still writing itself. She cleans it monthly, fires it, remembers. Asked if she'll retire it, she replies, "It's not mine to retire. I'm just the current caretaker. Other rifles have followed, other descendants, other legacies rising. Not all wounds heal, but some traditions strengthen." A documentary featured her, only after she insisted, "It's not about me. It's about what gets passed down." It aired, won awards, letters poured in, from across oceans, from grandchildren unlocking silences. "My grandfather never spoke," one woman wrote. "After your story, I found his rifle cleaning kit, still organized, still ready. I finally understood his silence wasn't absence, it was presence." A new shooting category emerged, heritage class, at least 2 generations old, not nostalgia, connection. Tessa entered. She won, no speech, just a nod. The trophy sits beside a photo, James Morgan in uniform, eyes forward, no smile, no need. On the anniversary of the General's salute, Hollow Creek unveiled a plaque. "Marksmanship is memory in motion." Beneath it, a quote from James Morgan. "The target isn't paper. It's your own doubt. Defeat that first." Tyler returned in uniform. Army specialist, new posture, new eyes. "I enlisted because of that day," he said, "because I saw something that knew itself." Tessa doesn't share her story often. She doesn't need to. The rifle tells it. The stance tells it. The silence between shots tells it. At Hollow Creek, they understand now, some weapons season. Some skills aren't learned, they're inherited, and some respects must be earned. When Tessa takes her stance, back foot turned, elbow locked, no one laughs. They watch, they learn, they remember. A journalist once asked, "What do you think about when you fire the M1? She paused. Continuity. That we're never really alone on the line. Every lesson, every believer stands with us. Silent, but present. He asked another question. She stopped him. "But mostly? I think about nothing. Because that's what he taught me. When the moment comes, everything else falls away. It's just you, the rifle, and a decision. A choice of purpose. A shot that echoes long after sound fades. Subscribe to Iron Heart Stories if you believe some weapons don't age. They become legacy.